In a remote part of the countryside lies an old schoolhouse, abandoned for years. Its dilapidated walls and broken windows make it a haunting sight for those who dare to approach it. The locals say that strange things happen there, that it's cursed by the ghosts of children who died in a fire that happened many years ago. One night, a group of teenagers decided to investigate the schoolhouse. They had heard the rumors and wanted to see for themselves if they were true. They drove to the schoolhouse and parked their car on the side of the road. As they got out, they felt a chill in the air, and the darkness seemed to engulf them. The group walked towards the schoolhouse and noticed that the door was slightly ajar. They hesitated for a moment, but then curiosity got the better of them, and they entered the building. Inside, it was dark and damp, and the only light came from the moon shining through the broken windows. They could hear the sound of their footsteps echoing through the empty halls. As they walked further into the schoolhouse, they suddenly heard a sound coming from one of the classrooms. It was a faint whisper, barely audible. They cautiously approached the classroom and pushed open the door. Inside, they saw a little girl sitting at a desk, facing the blackboard. She was wearing a white dress and had long, blonde hair. She seemed to be writing something, but they couldn't see what it was. The group was startled but also curious. They approached the girl, and one of them called out to her. The girl didn't respond, and they thought she might be deaf. They tried to get closer to see what she was writing, but as they got closer, they noticed something strange. The girl wasn't actually there. She was a ghostly apparition, a mere figment of their imagination. Suddenly, the door slammed shut, and they were trapped inside the classroom. The room grew colder and darker, and they could hear strange noises coming from the walls. The air was thick with the stench of burning wood, and they realized that they were surrounded by flames. They tried to escape, but the door wouldn't budge, and the windows were too high up. Panic set in, and they screamed for help, but their cries were drowned out by the crackling of the fire. They were trapped, and there was no escape. They could feel the heat of the flames growing closer and closer, and they knew that their time was running out. The next morning, the locals found the burnt remains of the schoolhouse, with no trace of the teenagers who had entered it. Legend has it that the ghosts of the children who died in the fire still haunt the schoolhouse, and that they lure unsuspecting visitors inside to meet the same fate as the teenagers. The schoolhouse remains a dark and eerie reminder of the tragic events that took place there, and it's a place that should be avoided at all costs.